Can't ball in a life, man. Go on with it, go on with it. Do us. So we are coming here with a force. Yeah. Blessing the reap and we coursing on.
Do this Real Housewives of Atlanta Married to Medicine review. And I apologize for being so daggone late, child. But listen, I am here. Okay. So, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, y'all know I want to start this off by talking about the recent little Twitter beef that apparently Drew and Sheree had on Twitter where they were going back and forth about this hit bill, child. So apparently, Drew on the show, which we're going to talk about, told sis how much it costs. And she feels like, well, I wasn't a part of the planning, so I ain't going to be a part of the paying. I'm like, Sheree, really? And so Drew took it upon herself to come for her about Mr. Hotel Holt. So that's going to be very interesting. And I wonder if they talked about that on the reunion. So anyway, y'all, let's get into the episode because I thought that was mighty hilarious. All right. So moving on, if you want to see all the full details of that, going over to Scotty by Nature. He has a whole video on all of the goings-ons. I saw it on Twitter, but I didn't screenshot any of the stuff that they were doing back and forth. So going over to his channel if you want to see the full whatevers that happened between Sheree and Drew. All right. But let's get into this review. So the show starts off where Ace is doing an audition tape appointment. Candy acts, so I guess she's trying to get her son into it as well, which I think is good. Like when you typically entertainers always want to have their children get into the things that they're doing, and Ace is just so cute. I think it would be good to see him on TV, but sometimes I feel like kids should be allowed to be kids for a while. Like sometimes you just always have to tread that fine line of when should you really put them out there, so to speak, in the public to be working and whatnot, and when should they just be a kid, right? So moving on, Marlo talks to her sister about getting the boys back. Now, y'all, Marlo don't bit want them boys back than the man in the moon. She's talking about I miss them. I'm so excited. And her sister is like, yeah, because they ain't been brushing their teeth and they ain't taking no shower, so they need to go on back to your house. It's funking up my daggone house. She ain't say it exactly like that, but I can imagine that's what she was thinking in her head. But Marlo was like, yeah, it's going to be a long 5 days. And her sister's like, no, I'm dropping their ass off at your front door tonight. Okay. And she's like, I can't hear you. All right, bye. I'm like, but you wanted them back so bad. But you want to wait another 5 days. It's been long enough. How long do you want to wait? If you don't get these kids back and going on. So moving on. Ralph and Drew are chatting, and she said that the trip to Jamaica didn't really go the way that they wanted it to because she messed up her Achilles, and she basically was quarantined up in the daggone room for the most part because she couldn't really hop around and do nothing. So they talk about that. Then they briefly talk about the stuff with Josiah. And then Sheree and Sanya come over. So they come over, they sit down and chat. And Drew is like, I can't believe you, of all people, of how we started out, you're over here checking on me, talking about Sheree. So Sheree was like, well, how things turn around. So Sanya comes over and her and Sheree tell Drew about the whole situation with Kenya at the table. Because, of course, Drew was in her room, so she didn't see everything that went on. So Sheree tells Sanya about the whole situation with Kenya saying that her husband was aggressive. And so Sanya was like, yeah, my husband was not aggressive. I'm about to call her right now. So she calls Kenya trying to be, I don't know what she was trying to do. She was trying to be gangster on the phone with Kenya, but Kenya was basically asleep. Okay. So she picks up the phone and says, Ty, I'm just waking up. I gotta wake up before I talk to you. And then Sanya was like, that's not cool what you said about my husband though, Kenya. That's not cool. Like she's still trying to have the conversation. And Kenya's like, girl, I done told you I am asleep and I ain't got time for this. Okay. And I ain't about to wake up and deal with it. So then Sanya, Kenya ends up hanging up on homegirl, and she calls her the bitch. I gotta see what time it is, y'all. You can't be cursing until a certain time in these videos. So she calls her a bitch before when she hangs up the phone. I'm like, girl, why you ain't say that while she was on the phone? You got a lot of balls before she hangs up the phone, sis. I don't understand. But I don't know what Sanya is trying to prove, like trying to go back and forth with Kenya. I understand that she doesn't like the way that Kenya moves for the most part with some things. But at the end of the day, it's like, girl, you can't handle Kenya. So don't even try to go back and forth with her. You know your husband isn't aggressive. Don't even try to address this. It's not even worth it. So moving on, Kenya meets Sheree at the model call, and she's basically shading the hell out of Sheree's coordinator for the fashion show, or the non-fashion show, if you will. So Kenya's like, write your names on the picture so we can know who you are. And the lady was like, well, no, I actually don't want them to do that because there's a certain way I do it. And she's like, well, your way is wrong. Kenya says, well, your way is wrong. And she says, well, no, it's not. And so the lady is in her turban is getting all in a tizzy over here going back and forth with Kenya. I'm like, girl, no. I would not be doing this because I'm sure Sheree ain't paying her enough to be dealing with Kenya and her drama. Now, I get it. Kenya was trying to be helpful, but right now you're really being a hindrance. You're being a headache. Let this lady do her job that she's getting paid for. And are y'all paying these models? Because this lady said that apparently it's not in the budget for you to get good models. So did you go on the Instagram and get people to come down here because this was the Real Housewives of Atlanta and they would be seen on TV and you want them to do this ish for free? Uh-huh. Yeah. It's given no. No. That's not what we need to be doing. You need to get some people down here and pay them, Sheree. This is not a free service, okay? But moving on, she about broke tail town. I don't know what's going on with her, but this fashion show is looking like a whole disaster. It ain't even happened yet. So moving on, Drew and her mom go to support Ralph at his photo shoot, and they end up talking about the foreword of the book because Drew is saying she has to write the foreword, but she don't know nothing about the daggone book. But she's proud of Ralph, and she's there to support him. So they end up having a conversation with her mom about him ultimately making the decision not to adopt Josiah. So he explains himself basically like he did in previous episodes, basically saying he talked to Josiah's dad, and he even had Josiah's dad come to one of his basketball practices. And he's trying to be in Josiah's life, so he doesn't feel comfortable adopting him if his biological father wants to have a relationship with him. So Drew is like, you know what, even if it's not right now, I will hope that you would do it down the line at some point. And I'm like, you're not listening to this man. Give Josiah's father the opportunity to be in his life. If he's not proving to be consistent, then you guys have an additional conversation. But other than that, this should be like null and void at this point. Why are we even still talking about it? And her mom was like, well, I don't want Josiah to grow up and think that, you didn't want to adopt him. And Ralph says, well, if Josiah says, Dad, I want you to adopt me, then I'm going to adopt him. But he's a kid. He doesn't know the difference. Like in his life right now, Ralph is his father. And his father, his biological father, I think his name is Rick or something like that. If he wants to come and be in his life, cool. Let it flow naturally. Like, I think that sometimes women get so emotionally involved in situations that, Drew even compares the commitment of him adopting Josiah to their marriage. And I'm like, girl, I don't think it's that deep of a different, similarity, but whatever. But anyway, moving on. So the boys are back in town at Marlo's house, and she talks to them about their day, and then she discusses the importance of homework and having structure. And she asked the boys if they were happy to be home, and they basically said, well, yeah, I'm happy to have my own bed, and I'm happy to have a clean shower to take a shower in. So maybe that's why the boys wasn't taking no damn shower, because you got 7, 8 people using the same damn shower, somebody ain't cleaning it. It ain't zestfully clean. Okay, so maybe that's why they weren't having a good old time showering over at your sister's house, because you got them up in a daggone soup kitchen with all these people. Like, your sister didn't ask to have all these people in her house. And I just think that's unfair. And I think that for the boys, I would look at this situation as, you know, I feel like even when she was talking to them, I kind of felt bad. Like, my heart went out to them, because I feel like they were saying, yes, we love being here. And, saying whatever they needed to say to make sure that she won't throw them away again. And it's like, these kids are not going to be perfect, Marlo. They're kids. They're going to make mistakes. So it's like, you gotta either stick with it or get lost. Like, don't keep on having all these stipulations on why they need to be doing this and that and the third. They're kids. They're going to make mistakes. They're not going to clean up every 5 minutes. They're not going to be perfect. So if that's what you're looking for, you just don't need to be a parent at all. You don't even need to get a dog for all that reason. You need to get yourself together. And I just hope that the boys feel comfortable and they're not made to be on pins and needles all the time, making sure that they're perfect so she don't kick them out again, because that could be very detrimental to their mental state of mind. So I don't know. I just hope Marlo doesn't do that again. So moving on, y'all. Drew is setting up for Kenya and Marlo's birthday surprise, and Sheree arrives all flustered because, of course, none of her fashions have shown up yet. So she's having a time. So she done sent one of her friends to go and look at some place in California. Some stuff then got lost in Alaska. I'm like, girl, I heard a shit coming from China, but Alaska? I ain't never heard of nobody getting no shit from Alaska. Okay, Sheree, whatever. Just get the damn clothes. Because at this point, I don't want to hear nothing else about She by Sheree if this fashion show is fashionless. Okay, moving on. So, of course, Drew addresses the invoice issues. He was like, yeah, I'm so glad you're here. I really need your help because I can't really get around much. So I'm going to really need you to be on point with this hosting situation. But, I'm going to go ahead and get you that invoice. She kept trying to slide that in there like, yeah, don't think I forgot. Give me my money. Run me my money. Okay? That's basically what Drew was saying without saying it. Okay? So Sheree is like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and deduct some because, I wouldn't have done this and I wouldn't have done that. I'm like, Sheree, what your broke ass? Girl, why did you even agree to co-host this party if you wasn't going to give up the coins? This makes me think that when she went over Marlo's house and bought all that Fendi shit, I know her ass took it right on back. I know she took that shit right on back to the store, and I know she did, because you want to play like you have money and you don't. I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. So anyway, all the guests start to arrive, and Kenya's cousin Shay is the first one to arrive. So she comes on in, and then Marlo's friends arrive. So then and Candy arrives as well. So then as they're talking, Drew begins to tell Candy about the whole situation, Candy and the girls about the whole situation with Sheree's clothing and stuff, and how things are not going right for her. So she's a little flustered. So she tells them about the Alaska situation, and Candy is like, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and find another excuse, Sheree, because at this point, I don't believe nothing that you're saying. You are playing around with us. Like, why are you playing with this whole business situation? And Candy takes business very seriously. So with Sheree kind of pussy popping on a handstand with this whole situation and not really taking her business by the realms and getting shit done, I think that actually irritates Candy. And it would actually irritate me as well, because I feel like she on TV wasting our damn time. Okay? So everybody comes in. Kenya pulls up and she sees Marlo trailing right behind her child, but she goes and puts an extra pep in her damn step to get to the door so that she can slam the door in Marlo's face. So Marlo comes in right behind her, fendied out, honey. And then everybody yells surprise and tells them, so yeah, this basically is not a party to celebrate me getting my Achilles, fixed and finalized. It's basically about y'all birthday. Yep, it's about y'all. And Kenya like, well, I appreciate it, but why the hell I gotta share a damn party with this bitch? Like, I need my own party. But anyway, thank you. So they come on in and they all sit down. And Then Shantae, Marlo's friend, stands up and gives Marlo some accolades for always being there for her. And she says, Marlo really is a good person. And she tells Marlo, I tell Marlo all the time, don't fight with Kenya. I really want you guys to get along and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, girl, have you seen how your friend treats people? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Marlo, she may be nice to you, but she's not nice to anybody else. So Kenya says, listen, I've said from day one that I like Marlo. However, I don't appreciate her calling me a liar. I don't appreciate her always talking about my mother and saying all these nasty things to me. And I don't appreciate her holding over my head that I didn't invite, treating me a certain way because I didn't invite her to a housewarming party. First of all, you're not entitled to come to somebody's house, ma'am, for an event. Let's just make that very clear. And you sitting up here talking about this woman's mother, that's a very sore spot in her life. So why would you think that that's something that you can dig at somebody about? And then with the age of the COVID that we got going on, you telling her that she's not really sick. What is your problem? Like, why do you have such a hard on for Kenya? I don't get it. And of course, Kenya goes back at her with it, calling her the JJ a square reader. So y'all go back and forth with each other. I just think at this point it's just getting very petty, and I'm over it. Okay. So then moving on, Drew and Sheree decide to play this shady game called Below the Belt. Okay. They play this after, of course, Drew summons her mother over to, have the prophets pray for them. Okay. Because they sitting over there going back and forth over a bunch of BS. So then the mama comes over and prays. Then they start playing this game. Okay. So in this game, they're going to ask questions about different situations, and you have to say whether the question is let me see, is a disaster, or I don't know. Wait a minute. What did they say? I don't know, y'all. Game Below the Belt have responded. Look, I gotta go through my. Is it if it's below the belt, basically? So you have to say whether it's below the belt, whatever they're talking about. So they asked. The first question was, how would you respond if someone said that your man was aggressive? And so, of course, that's about Sanya and Ross. So Sanya stands up and she's playful, but she really means it. She's looking at Kenya and she's like, you wish you had a man that would protect you like that and this, that, and the third. I'm like, girl, you wouldn't bust a grape. Why are you even up here trying to get buck with this girl? Like, and you're doing it playfully because you can't really stand the wrath. You can't stand the wrath of Kenya. So I don't even know why you trying this right now. So then the second question was, if you agreed to throw a party for friends and split half the bill with a friend, and this friend skips out on the bill, what would you do? And Sheree basically looks like she got egg on her daggone face because she know that they freaking talking about her broke ass. So then Candy was like, I will call their ass out. And so Drew, of course, looks over at Sheree, and Sheree gives a big old excuse. Well, I'm planning a fashion show, and this, that, and the third. Girl, well, you shouldn't have agreed to throw this party for nobody. If you know that you don't have the coins, don't agree to participate. You should have been a participant, not a thrower of the party, if you will. Like, what sense does that make? If you guys are all friends, your friends should be okay with saying, listen, I ain't got it. You know what? Matter of fact, let me hold something. That's basically what you should have said. Because clearly you don't have it. Sheree wants to pretend like she has this lavish life and she has all this money. But where the hell is sis getting her money from? Because you're not selling no products. I know she was personal training for a little bit, but how many clients do you have, sis? I don't know. But moving on, y'all. Everybody talks about the fashion show and they say, well, you basically better have some damn clothes because we about tired of hearing about this damn business and you not doing what you're supposed to do. So just either get with it or get lost. You're losing me with this whole she by Sheree process. So moving on, in the last scene of the show, because y'all, this episode was really like, meh. So in the last scene of the episode, they have Apollo Nida show up, okay? So he comes to have coffee with Sheree, And Sheree basically wants to ask him to be one of her models in her show for the He by Sheree line. That's never going to happen. So he comes in there and he's basically telling her a sob story about how Phaedra wouldn't let him see the kids. She wasn't there for him throughout his whole process when he was going to jail and whatnot. And I'm like, y'all were getting a divorce and you were treating her like crap. And aren't you with some chick that was posting you on the internet and coming down to the booty house and taking pictures with you? Yeah, why don't you talk about her? The real estate agent chick from Philadelphia, allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly because I think that's her job. But why you ain't talking about her? Why you so worried about Phaedra? Y'all relationship was absolutely over. So why are we even talking about that? So then Sheree tells him about Tyrone and basically get some advice from him on how men treat women when they're in jail and whatnot. And she was like, yeah, he embarrassed me, this, that, and the third, and the end. Okay, so that was RHOA. I'm just hoping that the next episode has a little bit more to it. I think it's supposed to be the season finale, or if it's not, it's the episode before the season finale. But yeah, this episode was all right. Let's get to the comments, y'all. Let's get to the comments. Marilyn Demine says, hi Shay, what you doing up, girl? I am up too daggone late, but I had to get this review off for y'all because if I had one more person inbox me saying, where's the review? I was like, let me get this done because this is way too late. I usually do these reviews either Sunday night or Monday. I'll post them for Monday, but child, Wednesday is just way too late in the game, so I had to get it done. But thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching. Terry Lynn says, good evening. I was so embarrassed for Eugene when Toya carried on in Vegas. I think the reunion is going to be explosive. Yeah, we're going to talk about that next. You know what? Toya is trash. I cannot, but we're going to talk about her, y'all. Slick says, what's up, Slick? That's my girl. Good evening, Shay. You are not late. Thank you. I appreciate that. But girl, since I'm late, I got to get it done. Slick says, Sheree and Hotel are actually a good couple because they both are embarrassments. Yeah, and they both don't know shit about business, obviously. Because neither one of them, their business is doing, they're both of their businesses just should have never been started. How about that? Jessica with the K is here. Jessica with the K says, yay, I'm here. I don't like the way Marlo keeps calling the kids dirty. That's embarrassing for them in school. And yeah, they were desperate to say the right things to get to stay in a decent house. Yeah, and I don't like that. I don't like the way she makes them feel like they basically have to kneel at the throne to be, worthy of being in her house. And I'm like, girl, you in this damn townhouse. I know you fucking lying. Terry Lynn says, yes, Smart Funny in Black shirt. Love Amanda. Yes, y'all see my Smart Funny in Black. I went to her show for my birthday, actually, when she came here to DC. She came to the Kennedy Center. And my husband actually got me tickets and took me to the show, y'all. So I got me a little shirt. But yes, thank you, Terry Lynn. I love me some Amanda. Jessica with the K says, I was adopted by my grandparents when I was 11, and before they made it a thing, I never thought about it. That's probably how Drew's kid feels. Yeah, that's what I think too, because I don't really think that Josiah knows, and he's none the wiser of what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, let him be a kid. Don't have him engrossed in adult situations, right? Like, I think that they're just making it bigger than what it really needs to be. Slick says, I actually agree with Ralph. Drew needs to let it go for real. She wants the adoption for personal reasons. Yeah, I think so too. Like, if he's being an active parent in Josiah's life, it doesn't matter what it says on paper. As long as he's not treating him different from his other children, what's your problem? What's your issue? I agree. Jessica with a K says, now I told you about those Barbie clothes. How do you get Barbie clothes before regular samples? I can't. Child, maybe because it's less material. Who knows with Sheree? Sheree is just a walking waste of time. Okay. Jessica with the K says, yeah, I still see why Kenya didn't like having a man stand up and put his foot down and give a speech. But that word aggressive is loaded. She knows what she's doing by using that word, I think. Honestly, Jessica, I think that Kenya feels bad that she doesn't have a husband. Like when somebody stands up, and basically the way that Ross did by defending his wife is a constant reminder of how her marriage didn't work out. Like she's been on this show all the time, and she's been trying to find a man, and she finally thinks that she found one. She has the kid that she wants. But when she's sitting there alone and somebody is there to basically protect their wife, it's a further reminder of her that she doesn't have anybody. And I feel that way because of the conversation she had with Sheree when they were on the little paddle boat thing. I think because she made mention of it. Then she was like, everybody else has a man there and I don't. Like I'm just sitting there by myself. And I just think that was just a reminder for her. And I don't think that Ross was trying to be aggressive at all. I just think he was also trying to prevent what happened to Todd the night before. He like, listen, I'm not about to go back and forth with y'all, but I'm gonna respectfully tell y'all, don't mess with my wife because I ain't the one. I'm not about to be tussling with you all. But yeah, I can see both sides. Jessica with a K says Sheree couldn't even split a $3,000 bill, child. We know she doesn't have it like that. Absolutely not. I'm like, girl, you on the Real Housewives. How much are they paying you? Like, you can't split a $3,000 bill? Child. Slick says, what's crazy is I think the party was Sheree's idea. And it was her idea. Like, just say, I want you to pay for it. Like, you should have just told Drew, listen, sis, I'm gonna go ahead and toss you the idea, but I ain't got it. So if you want to do it, run with it far. Okay, I'm not gonna don't hurt your Achilles with it this time, but run with it. Terry Lynn says, to be honest, this season is kind of whack. Do they still say that? Shoot, I say it, Terry. We're gonna say it together. Okay, let me get this other picture up here, y'all. Oh, it's not in this phone. Hold on, y'all. I want to put this other. I thought I had loaded up the picture for Married to Medicine up here, but I did not. But y'all go ahead and like up the video. Like the video. We're going to play this intro again while we get this uploaded.
Can't ball in my life, man. Go on with it. Do us. So we are coming with a force. Yeah. Blessing the reap and we going on.
Okay, and I'm still not ready. Hold on. Here we go. Y'all like my new intro, by the way? Let me know in the comments. All right, here we go. We have Married to Medicine. Okay, y'all. So I would say this about this episode of Married to Medicine. Toya, you trifling. And Contessa, you loud. And that's all I got to say about her. I am so over Contessa screaming and cooning, doing the most. I cannot with her. It's entirely too much. She's yelling and screaming about nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay. So anyway, y'all, let's go in order. So the episode starts off with, oh, thank you, Slick. I love the intro. Thank you. So the episode starts off with Quad teaching Mason how to tie his shoes. Contessa goes to her trainer and she's all googly eyed over this man. And he like, yeah, while you over there looking at me, you're tipping the scale, okay? And wasting my time. You're not going to place nowhere in this whole situation if you keep on eating. Like this competition, you wasting my time and yours, basically. So we got some work to do, or this is a waste of time. So he's basically looking at her like a lost damn cause. And Simone is talking to a patient that's pregnant about working out. Okay. So Anila and Karen are in the kitchen. She grabs some wine. She's like, listen, I've been drinking since I was at this trip in Vegas. And why am I going to stop now? I'm going to keep on drinking. So she's drinking and talking and telling him about the trip. So she basically tells him about what Toya said about Eugene's member. And then she tells him what Toya said about him and how if they had to do a husband swap, she would pick him. So Kieran looks like, what? Like, he's not even impressed that Toya said that about him. And so he immediately moves on to, yeah, okay, whatever. So your parents, they come in here. Yeah, we got to get some rules. Because your mama, yeah, she don't wash her damn hands, okay? And I know she about to be up in here thinking she about to be cooking. And she ain't about to put that pointer finger in my food with her dirty ass nails, okay? So I'm going to need you to go ahead and have your parents adhere to these rules, because your mother, yeah, I be seeing her licking them fingers and stuff. I don't want your mama's saliva in my food, okay? Wash your hands. And Siri, I'm not talking to you. Child, my damn watch talking to me. She must have known I was going too damn far. But anyway, they have this list of rules, and basically Anila is like, yeah, my mother is not about to do none of that, okay? So you might as well just not even do this, because she's not about to listen to neither one of us. And Karen is like, well, this is my damn house, and she better put some respect on my house, because if she gonna be up in here, we got to have some type of protocol. So Anila like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and head on out, because my mama ain't rocking, okay? So moving on. Toya is cooking and cutting up some bell peppers, child, and the boys are in the kitchen, and Eugene is outside watching football. So Avery begins to talk about a situation where apparently recently he was over a friend's house, and the friend got a gaming card or something for his birthday, and it was missing, and they automatically assumed that Avery took it. And so Toya was offended, because I don't know if this was a situation where Avery was around a bunch of white kids or what. I don't know. It never was said what the race of the children were, so I don't want to assume that. But apparently wherever he was, they assumed that he took the card, and he basically said he didn't do it, and he didn't appreciate them blaming him. Okay. So y'all, can y'all hear me? Can you see me? Because I'm still a talking, and I hope that this is not recording. So just let me know. Somebody comment so I can make sure that y'all can hear me and y'all can see me good. Okay. Moving on. So Toya is talking, and she's upset over the whole situation. And before they really dive deep into what happened, she tells Avery to go outside and get Eugene. So Eugene comes inside, and they talk about it. Yes, loud and clear. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Slick. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, ladies. So Eugene comes in, and Toya is like, well, I really don't appreciate them blaming him for this. And then Eugene says, you know what, you always have to be careful. He's talking to Avery and tells him you have to be careful about what types of situations you put yourself in and the type of people that you hang out with. And, Avery understands that. But then Toya turns it on Eugene somehow and says, that's why I stay home, because if I'm a stay-at-home mom, so stuff like this doesn't happen. And I was only gone for a couple of days, and you always working, like blaming him. And I'm like, but girl, didn't you give him permission to go over this lady's house, this kid's house? So why is this now Eugene's fault that you let Avery go over to a sleepover? Unbelievable. So Eugene is looking at her like, so you mad at me because I go to work, and you're trying to say that I don't spend time with my kids. What you're not going to do is do that. You're not going to put that on my back, because I definitely spend time with my children. But here's the thing, Toya, you keep running up a check. That's why this man has to go to work. And hello, the body has to rejuvenate. So he has to go to sleep at some point. Everybody can't have me time and self-care time all day like you, eating fucking bonbons with your feet up. And you're getting thicker than a Snicker. So we know you're not playing tennis as much, and you damn sure not working out. And yes, I said it. Okay. You're not doing shit all day. And then everybody on social media wants to say that, Toya might be at a point where she don't want to be with Eugene anymore because she probably makes more money than him. Yeah, right now. Because you see, this Married to Medicine check, oh, baby, this check can go at any time. They can tell you next season, the show is canceled. It's a wrap. So the $800,000 that you getting per season, that could easily be gone, sis. Easily. And you could be sitting right there in regular Degularville of the doctor's wives like everybody else. So stop acting like your money is king and what you say goes. And, you know, if that's the case, retire Eugene. If you think you got so much money, tell him, you know what, babe, you work really hard. Go ahead and retire. Because I got us. We make so much money on this show. You ain't even got to be working in emergency medicine no more. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of you. But no, that's not the case. Toya strikes me as the type of bitch that's my money is my money, and you go ahead and keep on breaking your back for our family. But I'm gonna keep on sitting over here complaining about it. How do you expect this man to be ready to razzle dazzle you all the time when he's working 12 to 18-hour shifts? What is wrong with you? You think he's supposed to be in here pressing on your O shot all night, and he's been working, and the mental anguish and stress that he has to go through all day, watching people die, trying to save people's lives all day. Then he has to come home and be chipper and cheery for you. Not to say that he should be weary and dreary, but you should be understanding of what this man is going through. This is not an easy job that he does every day. Why aren't you scheduling self-care days for him? Why don't you have a massage therapist there for him when he gets home? Why aren't you doing things to try to uplift him? It just seems like Eugene is beaten and battered. He has battered woman syndrome to me. It's like he takes it and takes it and takes it from Toya. And Toya really has no reason to be the way that she is with him. But that's why his mama don't like her ass, because she trifling. I don't get Toya. Toya is very materialistic. She wants to live this life that she in her head that's going on. She wants to try to be better than everybody. But it's like, girl, give it a rest. Like, nobody gives a damn about how big your house is or what you have. At this point, you are continuously accumulating debt and accumulating separate gaps of separation between you and your husband. Because the kids notice that you always arguing with their father, and you annoying the fuck out of them too. So something's got to give. And quiet as it's kept, allegedly she's sleeping with people's husbands in the neighborhood, child. And I wouldn't put it past her. She probably tested that old shot on some damn body else, child. But moving on. So Jackie talks to Heavenly about her puditoire dropping in value. Basically, she's hitting the menopause stage. Okay, she got to get some testosterone to help build her levels. Sis is, she having some troubles in the paradise between her legs. So Jackie is over here trying to help sis out. So Jackie also recommends the O shot to her. I'm like, this whole episode was basically a commercial for Jackie and these damn O shots. That's what I got out of this, basically. And that's really all I saw. So then Heavenly, unfortunately breaks the news that she got a pamphlet from, hospice, where the hospital basically said that this is a decision that she's eventually going to have to make as far as with her mom. So she's kind of worried about that. And Jackie says, I understand. I had to do the same thing with my parents. And, of course, I got your back. I'm going to be here for you. So moving on, Anila's parents finally arrive. Karen brings in the bags reluctantly. And then Karen presents this list of house rules, if you will. And basically, just like Anila thought, her mama laughed at his ass. Like, you think I'm about to follow some rules up in here? Yeah. No, I'm not doing any of that. I'm not doing any of this. I'm going to do whatever I want. Matter of fact, I'm going to tap dance on your counter if you think I'm not. I'm going to be in here. I'm going to run around butterball naked. I'm actually walking your bathroom and see you naked again. I'm definitely going to do that because I want to see if the stick is hanging the way that Toya thinks it is. And I'm going to go back and report it to her because I can do whatever I want to do because Anila doesn't want to watch her own kids, you see. So I'm her mother and I'm going to continue to tell her what to do. And I'm going to take care of your kids. What's it to you? Okay? Because Anila, she gonna be like this in the camera all day because that's preventing her from watching her damn kids, child. Mind you, the kids is at school all day. And she can't be bothered with them. Oh no, she can't be bothered with them kids. And she only birthed them and they're only hers, but she can't be bothered with the children. So yeah, her mama will be there licking her fingers, making dinner, and not washing her hands, probably not brushing her teeth, and not closing doors, and so on and so forth. Moving on, nobody's going to listen to Karen. Okay, moving on. So every Simone and Cecil have Heavenly, Dr. Damon, Contessa, and Dr. Scott over. They basically want to talk about this couples book that they're writing and get advice from their friends on the title of the book and what chapters to put in the book and whatnot, and basically talk about how they got into a relationship and just basically getting some ideas from them. So Contessa comes in with these two pans of banana pudding, child, and the trays that she had them in looked like her mama's old trays from back in 1980s. You know how your parents have them trays that's been all burnt the hell up, but they just don't want to let them go. Yeah, that was Contessa's. That was her pants. That's what she brought the banana pudding in. Okay. So she comes in there and she's all kissing and hugging on Heavenly. Oh, all fake as hell. I'm like, girl, you are so fake. I can't stand Contessa. Like, she gets on my last nerve. She is the fakest bitch on this show, y'all. I can't stand her. So they all sit down and chat. And the men go in another room because they begin talking about how somebody done hunched on somebody in Vegas. And Dr. Scott is like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and head on out because I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear nothing about this shit that happened in Vegas. And as they go in the kitchen, Dr. Damon was like, oh, I want to hear the cackling. So then they start talking, and then Contessa asked Simone, how did her and Damon actually meet? I mean, not Damon, child. How did Simone and Cecil meet? So Simone says Cecil was so hard. He was so difficult. I just wish I had me a soft man. And Cecil was like, no, you don't. You don't want no soft man. You wouldn't no soft man be able to handle your ass. And the girls said the same thing. But they ended up lasting this long, and it all worked out. So I guess who was supposed to be with who, it worked out well. Okay. So they all sit down to eat, and Heavenly says, you know, they want to be open. They want them to be open and honest about their marriage, basically saying, alluding to the fact that her and Damon don't really talk about their marriage. And she was kind of being funny about it, but everybody wasn't laughing. And she was like, yeah, they think we don't talk about our marriage, Daddy. You know, they don't think that we're honest about our marriage. And then Cecil plays around and says, you know, about that. We do have some NDAs that I need you to sign, but he was just playing. So they laugh it off. And so then they discuss how Scott and Contessa got together because basically it was a great idea because neither one of them had any debt. Okay. That's why both of y'all just is dry. Your bank account ain't dry, so your relationship is. Like, I get it. Finances is a huge situation because financial reasons is the reason why a lot of marriages end. But y'all got together because neither one of y'all was going to. Y'all don't even look compatible, period. Like, I don't even know. Honestly, Contessa gets on my damn nerves, but I don't know how Scott got her. But you like it, I love it. Y'all debt free, child. Going on. But you riding my nerves, and that ain't free. All right. Moving on. So Simone says marriage is good when it's good and bad when it's bad. And Damon chimes in and says women don't realize how painful their words can be, and men can just get along because there's really no BS between the two of them. And Contessa says, are you talking about Heavenly? Contessa, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up. She does anything she can to try to start an argument. Like, I wouldn't even want to talk to this bitch. Seriously. Everything is yelling. Everything is just over the top. It's team too much all the time. She's always yelling and screaming. Everything got to be 10 octaves higher than it should be. Like, girl, stop. Stop. Like, Heavenly wasn't even messing with you. And you got to bring her in it. Oh, you talking about Heavenly? And Damon says, well, no, I'm speaking in general. Like, he's trying to basically learn her something. And she's like, well, he was like, well, men, we just typically handle things in a different way, and we're not very controversial. We can talk things out in general. And Contessa says, I would rather wrestle somebody than go back and forth and talk, you see, because I don't have time to be doing all that talking as you doing all that talking. Girl, shut up. And Scott over there looking like, oh, this bitch over here embarrassing me again. Like, she's so annoying. Like, I feel like she wants to be Heavenly's friend because I thought you just smooth things over. But the first chance you get to jump down Heavenly's throat, that's exactly what you did. You pounced right on the opportunity. Why? Haha. She needs a storyline because it's mid-season right now. So if I make up with Heavenly now, what the fuck else am I going to talk about for the rest of the season? Nope. Got to start it back up with Heavenly. But what I don't want to see is y'all doing this the whole season. I'm over it already. Get over it. Everybody else is. Don't nobody care about whether y'all are friends or not, sis. I don't want to hear about this anymore. You came on national TV and talked about your marriage. Period. Point blank. Heavenly is not to blame for that. Go back to arguing with Scott. Because this right here, this ain't the move, sis. It's not the move. So anyway, Damon pretty much says, he's basically trying to level the playing field, make sense of everything. Contessa and Heavenly are going back and forth. And Contessa says, shut the fuck up, Heavenly. I'm like, wow, really? Did you need to do all of that? And Damon says, stop. I'm asking you to stop, to Heavenly. And Heavenly kind of continues to go on, but then she silences herself because she's like, oh, wait, he ain't playing with me. And I think Damon is the only one that knows how to tame Heavenly's ass, okay? So Heavenly knew when to cut it out. And even though Damon was trying to be a peacemaker in the situation, because he did reveal, he said, it really hurts me that you ladies are not getting along and you guys aren't friends. Like, it really bothers me to my core. And Contessa's like, well, I'm not the problem. And I'm a doctor just like you. Bitch, don't nobody care that you a doctor. This don't have nothing to do with you being a doctor. She want to talk about we make the same amount of money. Who cares? You don't make the same amount of sense. That's what this is all about. You up here arguing with this man over dumb stuff. You trying to make it seem like he's trying to say that you're a bad person or that, you starting trouble and it's your fault what's going on between him and Heavenly. I mean, you and Heavenly. No, he's trying to tell y'all that this is a whole bunch of minutia that y'all are arguing about and y'all just need to let it go. But she's so caught up in her ego and stupidity and sticking to the story. That's her story and she's sticking to it. I'm going to argue with Heavenly so I can have something to talk about on this show. That's what it's all about. Contessa can't let go of this argument because if she lets go of the argument, what else is there for her to talk about? Period. So Damon packs up Heavenly and they end up rolling out because he's like, you know what? I ain't got nobody's time for this stuff. This is too much for me. I done got off work to be coming up in here dealing with this, and I done only got to eat my damn salad. I ain't even get to eat my damn food yet. At least wait till I eat my steak before y'all start talking crap. So they get in the car and he tells Heavenly, he's like, you could do better. Like you're not adding any positivity to the situation, basically, from you responding. So Heavenly agrees and she just pipes down. He's like, listen, I don't want to talk for the rest of this ride home because I'm really upset. And I don't really want to say anything that I should not say or whatever. And I felt bad for Damon in that moment because I think that he was really just trying to smooth things over between the two of them because he has a relationship with Dr. Scott and he don't want their wives going back and forth. But sometimes you can't make fools not want to be foolish anymore, okay? So moving on. The ladies arrive to go get the daggone O shot. They want to get the shot in their hoo-haws, y'all. So they get there, and Anila decides that it's a good idea to bring her mama. Why would you bring your mother, sis Anila? Especially with your mother being kind of prudish, if you will. Apparently, sis ain't even tell Anila about her damn period. She had to figure it out. I'm like, okay, I guess, different strokes for different folks, child. I don't know what their cultural values are, but I ain't going to say nothing because I don't want to offend nobody. But just being a woman, I would want to tell my kid, you know what I mean? So they know how to handle themselves. And also I would want to mind my business because Anila is damn near 50 years old and her mama in here telling her she can't get an O shot. I'd be like, girl, I bet you better shut your O, that hole in your face called an O up. Because what you're not about to do is tell me what to do with my poutoire. Ain't nobody about to tell me what to do. You know what? I'm going to go first. By the way, let me go ahead and go first. Simone, you hang back. I'm gonna go first. And you know what, Mom? If you want, you can come and watch. You want to come and be in the room? Because you minded my business a little bit too much. Okay. You shouldn't have brought her. Moving on. So Simone goes back there and goes first. Contessa begins to start talking about the whole situation with Heavenly. And Quad is like, hold on, pump your brakes. While you over here talking crap about what happened between y'all at Simone's house, maybe, just maybe, Heavenly was upset because her mother has just been placed on hospice and her mom is dying as we speak. And so now Contessa's like, oh, I understand, because that was happened with my mother. And, I mean, I lost my mom or whatever her situation is. And she, want to relate. Now she want to pray. Girl, you just as full of crap. I cannot with Contessa. She is just, y'all. She is so fake. I can't even deal. I cannot deal with Contessa. Now you want to pray. Can you pray the devil about you? Because you just as evil as all get up. You yelling and screaming over nothing. You make absolutely no sense. I cannot with her. So anyway, y'all, that's the end of the episode. Everybody get a needle in their clitoris and then all is well in the world. Okay. Hopefully somebody got home and got laid, y'all. Moving on. Let's get to the comments because that's probably about to be the only thing entertaining about this episode. Yes, intro, I can hear you. Okay. I really didn't like how Toya made Eugene sound like an absent father. Yeah, like you make it seem like he has an option. Like when he's home, all he does is attend to video games and do things that he wants to do, and he doesn't pay the children any attention. That's not the case at all. Every time I see Eugene when he's home, he's actually doing things with his boys, or he's trying to spend time with her. He's filming with her, or whatever the case may be. So I think that he does what time allots him to do. It's not enough hours in the day for him to do all the things that she wants him to do. I just think that she's very selfish. Slick says, does it seem like Toya was trying to start an argument with Eugene? What was her point? I wonder if she is cheating. I said that. She was literally, I felt like, I agree with you, Slick. I think that she was trying to start an argument with him because when he came, he was like, it seems like you were a little overly agitated about the situation with the boys. Like, what is that all about? And he's a doctor. He can see through what's going on. Doctors kind of got to double as a psychiatrist as well, because they got to get inside people's heads to help them to feel better on the inside of their bodies. Okay. So he read through the BS with her and he can see, okay, so you basically over here trying to start a damn argument with me, and for why? Maybe she really didn't want to go out with him that evening, so she was trying to start something so she didn't have to go out, and she's already dressed up. She ain't going out with him. Now she can go over King Swingading, her other man, and go get some D from him. So maybe that was her plan. I don't know. But good observation. Slick says Toya really has no reason to complain about Eugene. Spouses are sometimes cheating when they have dumb complaints. Yeah, I agree. I think she's definitely going and hopping on somebody else's pogo stick while he at work and them kids is at school. Terry Lynn says not pressing on the ocean. Y'all know, I don't even know where this stuff comes from, y'all. I swear, it just happens. It's just what it's. I'm sorry. Slick says she is complaining about sex. She wants him to work around the clock. Like, what is she doing all day? Absolutely nothing. Abso-freaking-lutely nothing. Okay, complaining. Jessica with a K says, now we know why Dr. Jackie's been busting out the whips and chains she's promoting. I'm sure a lot of people came to the office after this aired. Yeah, because she said, did you hear her when Carrie asked her, how many have you done already? She said, I've done about 600. I'm like, well, damn. You put a needle in a lot of pussies. Oh, that's a lot. Slick says, not Contessa with the recycled disposable pants. Child, yeah, she got them pants from her grandmother, okay? They was passed down from generation after generation. Them pants is old, and they have all the grandmama burnt fingerprints on the bottom. Yeah, it's been a lot of flesh burned on them pants, okay? They is old. That's old as sin. Terry Lynn says, Jessica with the K, right. It seems scary to me. I was nervous watching Dr. Simone, even though she was cracking up. Jessica with the K says, I'm just glad Dr. Contessa wasn't wearing one of Dr. Heavenly's Party City funeral wigs this episode. No shade to Dr. Heavenly. Get your coins. Child, I'm sure Heavenly has some signature wigs in her store. But yeah, Contessa seemed to get the cheapest of the cheap. She said, listen, what you got for $5.99? Yeah, put it all in my cart. Yeah, she got the cheapest wigs that store or anybody's store could ever sell. And she don't need to buy no more of them. Get some real hair. I don't really fool with Portia these days, but go on over to Go Naked and get you some hair, girl, because that ain't it what she been wearing. All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all for watching. Please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anybody else that needs to watch this too. And I will see you once I find the video in the next video. Peace out.